So your hand and wrist, it was broken over 7 times. Do you have like bone ache? Do you have, I mean, you tell me. I've never had mine broken.
The worst is when it gets really cold. I just get
really cold.
Incredible stiffness and soreness.
Stiffness and soreness. Okay. Do you have any like limited range of motion or can only move it so much?
That's
okay.
it.
And then do you have like pain?
No, the only
No
pain
pain?
is concentrated right in here.
Right in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
All up in there.
And then no problems, no tingling, no numbness,
No.
nothing like that? Okay.
No.
And then when you broke it, it was from boxing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the first time playing baseball, a
Baseball?
lot of times was from fighting.
Fighting? Okay. Fighting or boxing?
Same thing.
See, boxing is sport. Fighting is back alley. That's
No,
it. He's like Fight Club.
When you're at a boxer, you're in a fight. You're watching boxing.
So here's what I'm going to do. Can you scoot over to that edge of the table? Just make sure you don't hit your phone or anything.
I'm good.
Okay. I'm going to open up his arm here. A lot of people, do you think, and I am asking this question by the way, are they having problems with the forearm extensors or the forearm flexors? You see how it splits? Okay, so when people have problems with this, what is this motion? Flexion. This is extension. Do we ever know anybody who's just overextended? They've developed their extens.
Military, but
Okay. So with the arms, or is it their flexors that are overdeveloped or their extensors?
flexors.
I think it's the flexors. Now, I am willing to debate this, by the way, if you guys know more information than I do. People talk about muscle testing and orthopedic stuff that I don't quite know. I think what happens is the flexors are overly shortened. It's lengthened the extensors. They get pain in the extensors up at the wrist. I mean, at the elbow. Like up here is pretty tight. He's already making a face. This cracked just when I did that. Does it do that all the time?
Yeah, so, you know when I'm doing stuff, you could hear go tick, 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 tick.
So it ticks, and it sounds like he's the Tin Man from. He's like, gotta oil stuff, right? So if I'm working on people's flexors, do you guys come in and use oil and like strip these out? Okay, I tend to like come in, and I'll feel what's going on. This lower half, this is still a good spot to work. There's not as much muscle here. The muscles taper down towards the wrist. It's a little thinner. This top portion, though, is a little bit thicker. And I just want to see, I'm just like looking at his face to see if he winces or like how's the pressure, like how's this right here? How's that in there?
I mean, it feels, you know.
Okay. But you don't notice anything in your hand or anything like that?
No.
Okay. So to give him more compression, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to come over, I'm going to double this up because I want to give him a little more padding to start. Right there. And I'm going to move him just a little bit lateral. Now, I don't want to put pressure like if his arm was like this, you can't put any pressure, right? Like it's going to bend at his elbow too much. I'm just trying to get him to the right spot. I'm going to see. Now, you tell me, right there. How's that? Is that too much? Okay. If I give you pressure like up towards the head or down towards the feet, which one of those do you like?
Either one.
Either one? Okay. If I go out towards the wrist or up towards the elbow?
I like going down towards the wrist.
Right there? Okay. So from here, I'm going to take him. If he was on a mat, I'd have a pad here so I could do this and roll him open.
Wow.
Is this too much pressure? And he's got some issues in here. I would work on all of this. I would strip out his thenar out to his thumb. Is that too much on your wrist, bro? Okay. I want to give you some rotation there. Is that okay?
Go ahead and go.
Okay. Now, is that too much? Okay. Do this for me. Can you close your hand into a fist? Can you pull it up towards me? Can you pull it up here? There you go. Now, slowly, can you open this out? And then pull it back and down. Pull it back and down. So this way. Come towards my hands. Come towards my hands. Open it, open it, open it, open it, open it, open it.
My
Okay.
middle finger feels really weird.
Probably because you want to give me the middle finger.
Really weird. Oh, it feels weird. It wants me to get the...
So here's the thing. The light in here is a little weird. Okay. His fingertips are getting cold.
Why is
especially my nephew finger.
Middle finger. So is it tingling?
Yes, it
It
is.
is tingling. Are your other fingers tingling?
No.
Okay. Sometimes it will. Totally fine, by the way. This is a normal part of the process. So now I'm going to do this for him. I'm going to lift him for a second. Stretching, lengthening the extensors, right? And then I'm going to lengthen the flexors gently. I'm watching his face. I don't want to give him too much. His fingers get cold because it forms a tourniquet. Okay? Now, I want you guys very closely, I want you to come over here as close as you can. I want you to look at his hand. I want you to look at the color. I want you to look at the color of his palm, hopefully without blocking the camera. Now, very slowly, I want you to watch this, okay? I'm going to slowly back off.
Oh, how neat. Wait.
Watch,
Charging the mission.
watch his hands.
Nice. You're turning red. Oh, that's so cool.
Thank you, I am cool.
Now, does that look different than it was before?
Yes.
All the new blood flow.
Okay. So I'm going to give him just a second because that's a deep compression. Can you move that around for me and tell me how it feels?
Oh, I got a little bit more flexion in there.
How much work was that?
See, it's still just a little. I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I tell you, I hit this guy so hard. It was the best punch I ever gave. But the pain went from here all the way
just-
to
yeah.
my forehead.
Yeah.
And I knew it was broke, man.
So when I go in and put pressure here, he's getting pressure to the flexors. I didn't go into extreme detail about like what flexor because it could be any of them, right? When I'm in the dead center here and then I roll him open, I'm also getting pronator teres. Pronator teres closes the radius over the ulna. Everybody spends time kind of closing their carpal tunnel, and I go, hey, open this up. Open this up.
I could feel the difference up here.
But I mean, it's all connected.
I wish I would've had
and
you
it's,
back
it's,
then.
it's nerves, right?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I like working on, not fighters per se, but like people with old war wounds.
injuries.
I love working on dudes. I like working on the fist bump, like guys who are, I don't know about getting worked on by a guy, but then they wind up like fist bumping me, talking about oil changes in their car. Like, I work well with guys like that. We develop a brotherhood of the, fist bump and whatever. The thing is, when I do that, I'm treating, so to speak, the flexors. It's getting pronator teres, but the compression is so deep and so prolonged that it starts to form a tourniquet on his arterial supply, his arterial blood supply. Their fingers, if I'm doing it on a mat, it's even easier. I use my feet. I just
So
stand.
you were using your knee.
I just use one foot. Ball pad of my foot, just stand on them.
But you were using your knee at that time, correct?
Because I'm on a table.
Yeah.
So you change the mechanics, right? Then I would roll them open, do that same, similar stuff. A lot of times I can almost time it. I've done it so many times. I can wait 1.5 to 2 minutes and go, hey, do you get tingling in your fingers? And they're like, yeah.
Now, how did you said look at my hand, what was white?
It was just pale, pale. And then all of a sudden,
Poof.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Could you feel that? I mean, the blood flow entering back? Or
Well, I could feel the blood flow not being supplied to the fingers when he was doing the compression. And then when he was lightly doing it, I could feel my hand warming up.
Blood flow, that's all it is. The tourniquet effect is a secondary component. It's not necessarily what I'm trying to do. It just happens. It's a normal part of the process. I've learned that at 1.5 to 2 minutes, usually I'm like, hey, are you getting tingling in your fingers? And they go, yeah. They feel comfortable with what's happening, because if I'm like, oh, that's not normal, they're like, oh, you're going to hurt me or something.
But the funniest thing, none of the fingers felt it was mine.
Just the middle. But you might have more issues with the nerve that goes down to that finger. Because you have like the radial nerve, the ulnar nerve, and like that's the thing, you're doing research on nerves and innervation. You're working the flexors, you're working pronator teres, I could work the hand, and then the compression was so deep it forms a tourniquet. Now, if he's got old scar tissue,
Oh, there's tons of it.
and then I've restricted blood flow, and then what does that do?
Loosens it up quite a bit.
Is it good?
Yes, it's good.
It feels good.
Oh, it feels good.
I have people that say, oh, it cleans it. It's like it flushes blood, it cleans the blood, it does this, and I'm like,
Now, what movement were you doing? Because I was just trying to relax and breathe. And
So let's do the other side. Let's do that. Or you still have problems? You want me to do the second
Yeah,
one?
keep
Okay,
doing
because you have
this
problems with
one,
this one.
man. That felt good.
So can you scoot back just a little bit? I want to make sure that our camera is catching it. There we go.
I'm gonna try to look.
So can I bring you down just a little bit
Yeah,
right there?
yeah, of
Is that
course.
fine? So I'm going to put this on just because it's a little less sharp, because it's my knee. If I was using the ball pad on my foot, it's a big, broad
Yeah,
structure.
I
It's
love
totally different, right? So I'm going to come in. I'm actually, in this case, I'll just slide off my shoe before it didn't. It's almost like, no, it's not quite pigeon, but it's my shin. It's my knee right there. You tell me. Is that too much? Okay. So this is the main pressure. I've used my elbow to see the pressure difference when I reinforce. Okay. And then from here, I'm just going to roll him open.
Okay.
I'm rolling the radius open. Rolling the radius open. And if he's got a problem in his thenar, I can actually press in that.
Oh, I need that.
Yeah.
Can you feel anything?
I feel your arm. And a lot of people, they're crab claws, I call them. All this stuff. They have problems with all this. They'll have problems. Ooh.
Oh my God.
They're his first dorsal interosseous right there.
Oh my God.
How's that?
Oh my God.
And then I give him like a little pin and stretch to that. Now, when I press in there, is it running through your hand?
No.
No? Is it running through your fingers or anything?
Well, you know what? The baby finger.
Baby finger? Okay. And everybody will be a little bit different. Some people will feel it kind of roll through their hand. I'm going to back off of that. I'm going to roll you open again.
I need that. Goodness.
And this whole time, this is kind of just cutting off blood flow.
I'm putting pressure in the forearm flexors. That's the first order of business. The tourniquet is a secondary component. In Thai massage, they call it a blood stop. If you go out and call it a blood stop, the state board is going to come after me, and they're going to rule that blood stops are out of our scope of practice. And I'm going to go, it's reboot. I'm not a massage therapist anymore. I'm going to go sell this worldwide, and you're going to get the fuck off of me. Because this is manipulation of soft tissue. When you do Swedish, does it affect cardiovascular supply? Aha. But they would never think to go in and put pressure on the femoral artery, would they? But I do. And I'll flush out your leg. You know that knee problem you had that's been nagging you for years? I work the tissue all around it, and then blood stop, basically, your femoral artery, and then roll that open. And what's it feel like? Well, it feels like you have a new knee. Is that too much right there?
No.
Okay. So it's not that I'm trying to do that specifically. It's in his case, like if it didn't do the tourniquet part, it doesn't matter. I'm trying to work his forearm flexors because I'm lengthening those, and then I'm working what? Pronator teres. I'm rolling pronator teres open every time I do this. How's that right there?
I feel it in the wrist.
In the wrist? Right in here?
In the wrist.
So can you close your hand into a fist? Close it up for me. There you go. Now lift your hand up towards me. Like pull it up towards here. There you go. So not bend at the elbow, just at the forearm. There you go. Not at the elbow. There you go. So can you open your hand back and out this way? This way? This way?
I can't even feel where it goes. Oh, going that way.
There you go. So open it back and out. Back towards my fingers. Back towards my fingers. Back towards my fingers. Okay, I'm going to give you a little assist right here. How's that?
Oh, the elbow.
Too much?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
It's not going to break.
Now slowly, you can give me the finger if you need to. You learn to mix humor in with the work because it's so deep, like they have a resonance with it. So how is this? Is this comfortable?
All numb, all numb.
All numb, all numb, all numb. So when you fall asleep on your arm at night, what happens?
Oh, you crawl out.
It'll go numb. And when you wake up and you move your arm, what's it do? And it's the same basic idea, right? So don't bend at the elbow, okay? Look at me real quick. Can you do this with your hands?
Ooh.
Repeatedly.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Ooh, that feels funny.
There you go. So if you wanted to record this again, you can.
Wait, pause.
So I'm just letting you know because you were all raving about that.
I'm lost. Come on, why?
Oh, hold on.
Now, how pale does his hand look?
Extremely.
Yeah, right?
Me, pale?
So then just like, I'll leave my hand there so you can see it, but just slowly just watch what his hand does. The forearm flexors was the first order of business. Pronator teres. This is just a tertiary component.
Wow.
That feels so weird. Oh my god. Oh, that feels a lot better.
Robert had more.
Because what I was doing, what I would always do is just pull each finger and just pull.
Sure. But the thing is, when you pull each finger, it's because I think you're trying to work. People don't realize that their forearm flexors and extensors are involved in all their little hand movements.
Oh, I know.
So,
Every time you move it.
yeah. So when he's trying to pull like this, he's trying to create space. But here's the thing. If the muscles are really tight and they cross the joint, they're compressing the joint. He's trying to decompress, but he never deals with the tension in there. See?
Oh, I do. I just come right up in
Oh,
there.
yeah. No, if you work on it, yeah. But you're knowledgeable. A lot of people aren't. How does your hand and wrist feel now?
It feels good.
Good.
I mean, like, it's
A
still...
little more range?
It's more range.
Yeah. But I mean, you broke it like 6 times?
7.
Only 7.
Only 7, right?
But the bony structures as well, like what I don't know about the blood flow is I don't know what it does exactly.
That's what I was going to ask.
I don't know.
Flushing it, bringing in.
That's the general idea, and the thing is, in traditional Thai massage circles, they'll say, oh, the wind, the lom, oh, it flows, you know, or it cleans it out, oh, cleaning, you know, good stuff. And it feels really, really nice, so I still do it. I don't see any contraindications to it unless somebody has stroke, heart attack, some crazy, they're on Coumadin, blood thinners. How sharp was the pressure?
It wasn't sharp at all. I mean,
It's big and
it's
big
other
and
things
broad.
I felt that
Big and
happened.
broad.
Yeah.
Big and broad. If they get tingling, numbness, I'm not overly worried about that in the flexors. I want you guys to try that. You can use the pillowcase.
It's just funny how that one finger just.
Yeah.
The other ones, it was just.
Yeah,
that
but
one.
you might have more issues with that one specifically. Your fingers are still a little cold.
And is there like something you're looking for exactly to know when to let off?
You'll get to a point, you know how if you're doing deep tissue, you sink into a muscle, and you just get to a point where like the muscle is not going to let go anymore? That's it. But you have to learn how to feel with your legs and feet, which is a different skill, right? It takes time and practice to learn, like how long can we hold that? Can I what? Yeah. Why your tricep? What's wrong with your tricep? Oh, you probably don't even need a knee, but we'll see.
Yeah, he does.